Bounce it, work it, spin it, get into it. If you really with it, rip it, dip it, hit it on the ground so hard it shakes the ceiling. Bounce it, work it, spin it, get into it. If you really with it, rip it, dip it, hit it on the ground so hard it shakes the ceiling. And I want you to just and I want you to just work that shit, bounce it, shake it, twerk that ass, slowly bounce that. If you the baddest bitch, then twerk that ass, only work that shit, bounce it, shake it, twerk that ass, slowly bounce that. If you the baddest bitch, then twerk that ass, only up in the club with a bad bitch, so bad that she made Beyonce look average. Lots of lame ass niggas flirting, tryna add her on Snapchat. They don't know when we get home, I'ma tap it, attack it. Vicious on the beat, you know that I gotta get after it. On my for the perfect time to hunt some wabbits, snow bunnies. Nah, psych, that ain't even funny. Never discriminated before, cause I got a thing for all the honey. So work that shit, work that, work that, work that. And I want you to just work that shit, work that, work that. 1, 2, 3, let's go. Work that shit, bounce it, shake it, twerk that ass, phone bounce that. You the baddest bitch in front. I want you to just work that shit, bounce it, shake it, twerk that ass.
I love that song so much. If you ask me to rate in terms of on Exiled what my number one song, my favorite song that I think is the best, that I had fun writing, that I had fun recording, it's definitely Work It. Regardless, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone tuning in. Welcome to the Exiled, a Serious Inquiry podcast, where I talk about topics that I feel as if I'm entitled to talk about. Maybe entitled is weird terminology, but we're going to go with it. I'm your host, Daniel Perry Jones. However you know me, that's who I am. And it's been a while. It has been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've recorded and since I put out an episode, and I apologize for that. If you've been keeping track of me otherwise, I've been already, Exiled's been out for a good month and a half at this point. So if you haven't listened to that, feel free to, please, DM me on Insta, snap me, let me know your thoughts, what you think of it. Give me constructive criticism. Give me some feedback on on how I can improve, what I can do differently. Please do that. That would be much appreciated. I already had some people give me some constructive feedback that I'm going to incorporate to my next projects. So I'm serious about that. So this episode, you see the title. It's I'm going to be talking about love and relationships and my experience with that. But that's not going to be all the episode. What I want to do for a few minutes now is talk about, where I've been the past month and a half or so since I last put out an episode, what I've been up to, and what the route is moving forward, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of this episode. So, excuse me. So to start off, one of the biggest things that I've done over the past month and a half is hanging out with friends and traveling. And you're like, well, Mr. Jones, you've done that quite a bit. You've been to Vegas, you've been to New York. Where did you go now? Great question. I went back to Colorado for a weekend. It was a weekend trip. And the reason why I went back to Colorado, most of you that are listening to already know the reason. It was because I went to ring dance, and I celebrated that. Well, for those who don't know what that is, there's a tradition at the Air Force Academy where the upcoming seniors, near the end of the year of their junior year, they get their class ring. And it's a whole like shindig, and there's dinner and there's parties, and then it's a big celebration. They really earn their rings, and they get to show that off. And while I'm not graduating from there, you know, I have love for all the people that are about to in a year, and for all of my friends that are about to be seniors. And so I went and celebrated that, and watched my friends get their rings, and drunk some Henny and had good dinner, and then went to after parties, got drunk. All in all, it was a good trip. And I didn't only reconnect with Academy friends. I reconnected with some people that I haven't seen in years. Some people that left Colorado way before I did. And it was cool to reconvene with everybody, to see everybody again. So for everybody listening, hey, good to see y'all. Hope I see y'all again. Specifically to my Academy people, like I said in my IG post, Operation Graduation, it's real. Less than a year from now, about 11-ish months, y'all are going to be lieutenants, and y'all are going to graduate and go on to do great things, and that's really, really fucking awesome, and I'm so proud of y'all. So just keep doing your thing, keep doing what you have to do, and know that I'm going to support you in every step of the way. So just wanted to get that quick little blurb out of the way about that trip. Moving on. So, what have I been doing outside of that? Nothing but working in school. And some info with school actually just changed as recently as today, as I'm recording this. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But in terms of my work life, without giving out the exact location of where I work, most of you that are listening know what I do for work. And if I even have some coworkers listening, what's up? I'm not going to dox us. I'm not going to give out some information, even though it could be good for business. We get enough fucking business. I'm not going to give out the location where I work at. But I'll just say that it's a retail store, and I enjoy it. I have cool coworkers, cool managers, really down-to-earth people that I vibe with, and I say to everybody that I talk to work about, I feel as if I've lucked out. I've lucked out in terms of my work environment and the people that I work with, and all of that. So that's really, really, really cool. Yeah. So school. As a quick summary for those who don't know, I previously went to the Air Force Academy. I went to the Air Force Academy pretty much from 2019 all the way up till February of this year. And then a year before that, I went to a preparatory school for the Air Force Academy for a year. I'm not going to get deep into that because I did that last episode. But after I left the academy, I was looking at options in terms of what do I want to do in terms of schooling, and what is the best route of action for me in that regard. And I've had conversations with a lot of people about that, my family, close friends, and I decided to enroll in online school for a business degree. That was my first intention, to enroll in some kind of online program for a business degree, try to get going with that and do what I need to do for that. And yeah, so it was literally just a Google search the day as I found out I was getting kicked out of the academy. I did a Google search and I was like, online programs for business. And the first school, I shit you not, that popped up was Arizona State University. So I spent a few days looking into it, reading about different degree programs, and I applied, and they the admissions counselor basically reached out to me and said, "Hey, we got your transfer credits, we got your transfer report from the academy, and realistically, it's not looking great. Your GPA is pretty low. However, we're not turning you away. We still want you. We just want you to do a few prerequisite courses for a little bit to raise your GPA just a little bit so that we can admit you into the degree program that you want." And they call that process earned admission. It's basically me taking classes, taking prerequisite courses to try to get into the degree program that I want to get into. And so I was like, okay, sure. Because I knew I had performed poorly at my last institution. I knew I had done poorly academically, as I talked about last episode. And so I was like, yeah, of course I'm going to try to better the situation. So yeah, I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And so I had enrolled in earned admission, picked a few prerequisite courses, and keep in mind, I only need, because I'm still doing it, only need 12 credit hours and a 2.75 GPA, and in coordination with those 12 credit hours. And if you don't know, 12 credit hours is 4 classes. One class is 3 credit hours. 3 times 4 is 12. I need 12 credit hours and a 2.75 GPA in order to be eligible for my degree program. And that's what I'm doing right now. And the major changed literally today because I thought I just wanted to do organizational leadership, and something to that discipline in regards to management. But I was thinking about it, and one of the man, I'm not trying to give out a fuck ton of information regarding this class that I'm about to talk about, because I don't want to talk shit about the class or whatever. But let's just say that one of the earned admissions classes that I've been taking up until recently hasn't been great. And there's been a bunch of issues with the scheduling of the course as to the syllabus, what it says on the syllabus. There's been a bunch of technological bugs and technological issues within the course because everything's online. So their online interface that they use for this course is fucked. It's terrible. And today I was just at my breaking point because this was about the second or third time that I encountered these technological issues, and that I'm trying to do the course and do well in the course. And so today I was at my breaking point, and I decided, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to get out of this course and try to drop it and replace it with a new one. And so I called up ASU, the earned admission people, and I was like, "Ayo, I'm in this one course. I'm not vibing with it. It's giving me a fuck ton of issues. However, I want to pick a course that I can still apply to my degree program." And then me and the admissions counselor talked about my degree program, and it made me wonder, I don't know if that's exactly what I want to do. And then we just talked about different degree programs that had a business discipline. And if you don't know about Arizona State, they have a business school that you need certain requirements to get into. And so we were talking about that. And then she brought up this one degree option called Technological Entrepreneurship and Management. which is not in the business school. It's actually in the engineering school. I don't know why. I guess technology. And she gave me the rundown on that, and I read a little bit about that. And she was like, would you be interested in this? And the reason she, I guess, suggested this to me is because she knows that I have a little bit of a computer science background. Like I said last episode, I went to the academy with the intention of wanting to pursue a computer science degree. And so we talked about that. And then we just decided, you know what? I'm going to change the degree to technological entrepreneurship and management. And it's a lesser GPA requirement. Instead of a 3.0 like the business school is, it's a 2.75, but it's still the 12 credit hours. And there's about 6 prerequisite courses that they require you take, outside of, outside of the majors classes. There it is. And so hopefully the 4 earned admission courses that I'm taking will apply to my new degree program. And hopefully everything will work out. And if everything does work out, if I'm on track to do what I need to do, I'll be hopefully starting the degree program late this fall, around mid-October, which is still the trajectory that I was on initially. So I'm happy to know that nothing's really changing. It's just a different degree. But I'm excited. I'm optimistic about it. And it's something I want to do. And so, yeah, I just had to give that update. And if y'all want to talk to me about it, have any questions regarding that, shoot me a message, call, text, DM, whatever, and we can have a discussion about that. But, yeah, I feel as if now is a good transition. We're about at, I started the timer a little bit late, but we're about at the 16-minute mark, might be 17. And so I'm trying to keep the layout of this podcast series. From here on out, it's going to be organized. The reason why first episode was so, I guess, quote unquote, catastrophic and kind of just all over the place is because I didn't really have a layout for what I wanted to talk about. And I didn't really give myself a time constraint, because I'm one of those people that if you let me talk, I can talk your fucking head off. I can talk forever. But the goal for this episode is to be about 45 minutes. If it goes to 50, it's okay, but definitely under an hour. So 45 minutes to an hour. Let's see if that happens. As we talk about the next topic, the meat and potatoes of the podcast, like I initially wanted to talk about, I just had to give a little bit of other information. So here we are. The main topic of this episode being my love life and my romantic experiences. And I felt as if this topic was applicable to talk about at this point, because first of all, it's June. We're about a week into June. It's about June 7th. As I'm recording this, I don't know when this episode will drop. It might drop, I don't know, sometime this week. I don't know, maybe Friday. I don't know, we'll figure it out. But or maybe Thursday, we'll figure it out. But it's June, and if you don't know what June is, I don't know how you don't. Like, have you been living under a rock? Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's Pride Month, and that's applicable for me to talk about because I am a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. or as I like to call it, the alphabet mafia, just to piss conservatives off. I'm bisexual. And what bisexuality is and what it means is that I have an attraction for both men and women. And that could be sexually, emotionally. Yeah. But I've had years to think about this, and I came out to my family last year. And it was for the best, and they received it well, and they accepted me well in regards to that. So yeah. But anyway, I'm bisexual, and it's Pride Month, and in terms of my romantic experiences, and when I said earlier, when I said love life, I don't mean in a sexual way. First of all, let me clarify that this isn't Pornhub, this isn't smut, this isn't erotica. Like, that's not the aim of any of this. This is literally for me to talk about past relationships that I've had and how I am in a relationship. And this is probably the most vulnerable, one of the most vulnerable times that I'm ever gonna get, to be completely honest. Because I don't usually talk about this kind of stuff often. I don't. But I feel as if it's necessary for me to talk about. So, I guess the perfect way to start off would be to talk about the past relationships that I've had, just briefly. Regardless to, I guess, popular belief, I haven't been in that many relationships over the course of my 21 years of life. I've only been in about 3. And 2 of them were in high school. The first one in high school was at least in my opinion, was a cool relationship. It was with this girl, and it was throughout the course of sophomore year, maybe in a freshman year into sophomore year, or maybe just all of sophomore year. I forgot at this point. And if the person that I was in that relationship with is listening, if they want to DM me and give me more concrete information, that'd be cool. Because I don't want to fuck up the timeline, if I can avoid it. But let's just say that it was sophomore year, and me and this girl, I thought this girl was cool. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal her identity. She knows who she is. But all in all, the relationship, there was no bad blood at all. It just came to a natural breaking point in terms of she felt like she couldn't be in a relationship anymore, and it was something that she couldn't do at that point in time, which was understandable. But in terms of the relationship itself, I mean, obviously this is 5+ years ago at this point, maybe closer to 6. So I'm, in terms of how I was in high school, I didn't get around or anything like that. I wasn't like one of those boys that were like an asshole to like their partners. I wasn't like patriarchal. I didn't try to control her or anything like that. I thought as if we had a mutual respect for each other, and maybe, I tried to go maybe a little bit too above and beyond in terms of like gifting and like shit like that, because I'm a young fucking kid in high school. I don't know what the fuck's going on. This is the first relationship I've ever been in. So through my belief of popular culture, this is what needed to happen. I needed to like give her gifts and like shower her with like praise and admiration, because I didn't know at that time that I had to really apply that to myself. I didn't really know that. I mean, obviously now as an adult I know that, but back then I didn't know that. So maybe you could say a reason that maybe the relationship broke up ended because I don't know this for sure, but maybe a reason that the relationship ended is because I was too attached and too emotionally invested, and she wasn't, and she didn't match my energy at that point in time. And so but even after it ended, we still stayed friends. We were cool with each other. Even though we didn't hang out as much as we did in the relationship, we were still cordial and nice and respectful towards each other. Which how I believe any breakup should be, for real. I hate hearing about people I know or people I see out in the world that have bad breakups and have, breakups that end with nothing but malice for the other person and hatred, and just the other person's a piece of shit and they hope they go to hell and etc. I just hate those kinds of breakups, because I believe that a breakup should be mutual. It should be respectful, and both parties involved should be like, yeah, that's cool. It just has to end. So yeah. Excuse me. So that's the first relationship. The second one, still in high school, and it was junior year. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, I've been in 4 quote unquote relationships. I'm going to talk about the 2 right after I talk about this one. But the second one, high school still. This is my senior year. Before that, this is my junior year. And it's like the beginning of my junior year. I'm in this relationship with this other girl very briefly. And when I say very briefly, it was a week and a half maybe. And this relationship was probably maybe a complete polar opposite, if you'd like to call it, of the first one. I'm not gonna, I don't know, demonize this person or like anything like that, because I'm an adult and I know better. I'm more respectful than I was at this point in time of my life in high school. But I felt as if this person was clingy. I felt as if she was very attached to me, in terms of wanting constant availability, just in like texting and like, just like sending constant texts of asking what I'm doing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? I miss you. I miss you. I love you. I love you. And I perceived that as clinginess and as infatuation, which is what it was. Really, at the time, I thought she was batshit crazy. I thought she was fucking insane. And I was just like, hey, yo, I need to end this before it gets bad. That's what 11th grade me thought. And yeah, therefore, after about a week and a half, I straight up like called her and I was like, I can't do this. I cannot do this. I cannot do this. And I think the breakup that happened was I put the ownership on myself, which obviously in retrospect I shouldn't have done that. I should have just been respectful and like mature and be like, you know, I'm all for us hanging out, and us like, you know, spending time together, and doing the relationship that way. But if you're constantly badgering me and texting me and, you know, and it would be like every 5 minutes asking what I'm doing, and like, I love you, I miss you. That in my mind is just too much, and that's infatuation, and that's what I don't need. So yeah, for that reason, I had to end it. And, you know, all respect to her. I hope she's doing all right if she's listening. I hope you're doing all right. I hope everything is going well in your life. It's just you and me wouldn't have worked out, because I'm not that kind of person. We were two different people. Obviously, I would hope that she knows that at this point. Obviously, this has been 5+ years since. So, I mean, I believe she's moved on. I believe she has a other significant other at this point. She might be married at this point. I don't really know. Haven't really been keeping up with her. But I hope she's doing all right. I still have respect for her. All right, the third relationship. And we're about at the 31-minute point. 32, so I might want to speed it up a little bit. So the third relationship was, man, this was probably the one that was the most devastating for me. And this is where the vulnerability piece it comes into play. This specific relationship happened about maybe second semester of my senior year. Maybe like at the very beginning of my second semester senior year, all the way into a week or two before graduation. That's how long it lasted. So a few months. And at this time, I'm still a stupid high schooler, but I'm a senior. I'm about to graduate. I have a plan for what I want to do after graduation. And I'm chilling, and then I see this girl on social media, on Instagram of all places. And I hit her up. I thought she was cute. And so I hit her up. I was like, what are you doing? You know, you're really cute, blah, 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 blah. We should hang out. Little do I know that would transpire into what it ended up transpiring into. But after I made the initial move, she was like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And then we just met up one day, and it was cool. But the first time we met up is we were hanging out, and then she was like, oh, I actually need I forgot to ask my friend if I could get a ride from her to her house, one of her friends. And so she was like, do you mind like dropping me off? at my friend's house. This was like as we were on the way home, as I was, gonna take her home. I was gonna go home. She asked me this, and so I was like, no, not at all. And like I did have a car at the time. Those of y'all that know me from town know for a fact, and especially the people that went to high school with me, know for a fucking fact what my car was. I don't know. I barely have to even describe it. It was a 99 Toyota Corolla. Sounded like a fucking lawnmower. Like the muffler, whatever the fuck, was fucked up. You could hear that bitch from 5 miles away. It was fucking rough, man. It was rough. But yeah, that was the car that I drove, like, post junior year, all the way up until graduation. It died the day after graduation. I shit you not. It died. It gave up the day after graduation. Regardless, this is the car that I had on that night of me and this lovely lady first hanging out. And so she was like, yeah, do you mind dropping me off at my friend's house? I said, not at all. Second time, this is a few days later, she was like, what you doing? I was like, no, I'm just chilling. Trying to be all smooth and shit as a horny high schooler. And I say horny because even though the point of this episode isn't to talk about sex, this relationship was heavily sexually involved, because after the second time of us hanging out, I went over to her house. And keep in mind, I live in the South. I live in South Carolina. There's a lot of like agriculture and like farmland and like shit like that around me. And therefore people have farms. And some towns are not really urban. They're quite rural. And there's a lot of farmland and back streets, and it's the South. And she happened to live on a farm and own a few horses and be heavily into equestrian type stuff. If you don't know what equestrian means, it means horses. She rides horses. Not trying to insinuate anything with that statement. It just that was literally what she did. So much so that I think she competed in riding horses. Again, not trying to be an innuendo. That's just what it is. And so the second time I hung out with her, I went to her farm, and hold on. The second time was when I picked her up from the farm and came back to my house. And the way my neighborhood works, I mean, obviously, like, it's a loop-de-loop. Not a cul-de-sac, but, like, it's a roundabout. So, like, there's, like, a fork in there's, like, a street where you turn, and then you keep going all the way down till you get to, like, my street where my house is at. And then there's, like, a fork in the road. You can either go left or go right. But either way you go will lead you back into, like, it's a gigantic circle, basically, with a bunch of houses. That's basically what it is. And so the layout of my neighborhood, there's my house, and then there's my aunt and uncle's house across the street. My house is on the left-hand side. Her house is on the right-hand side. Her house is way bigger than my house. My house is just one story with, like, 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and a kitchen. Her house is, like, fucking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms with an upstairs, downstairs, and an attic, a sunroom. Downstairs there's a kitchen. Upstairs there's a kitchen. There's a dining room. And then downstairs, there's like 2 bedrooms and then a bathroom. And so needless to say, second time me and this girl are hanging out. I'm not even going to give her a name because I'm not trying to reveal her identity for the people that do know her, because I've told this story to a bunch of times about this girl. And so either way, second time I bring her over to my aunt's house. We go downstairs. We're chilling in the basement. We're chilling in one of the guest rooms that has a flat screen TV. And long story short, one thing leads to another. We do what young, horny teenagers do. I don't have to go in depth, right? And then after that, I take her back home. I drop her back off. So there's that. Third and final time. Actually, no. Third time. The fourth time was the final time. Third time. I need to speed this up. Third time we hung out. It was when I went to her farm and we just chilled there. This is after a few days of us hanging out the second time. I texted her this time and I was like, yo, what are you up to? You know, I'm trying to kick it. She was like, cool, come through. I said, bet. I drive over. You know, she has her farm. And she has this one area. It's a tool shed that she's basically converted into a workout area. Instead of tools, there's like mats, yoga mats, and there's like yoga balls, and there's workout equipment, and there's bean bags, and it's just a chill area. Her workout place / girl pad, whatever you want to categorize it, she transformed that herself. She told me, and I was like, cool. I pull up Netflix on my phone. I pull up Netflix on my phone, and we do what it do. We do the deed. we do the deed. And I dip. A pivotal thing happened between the third and the fourth and final time we hung out. I lost my wallet. It ended up being that I lost my wallet, and it ended up, I ended up leaving it at her place in this tool shed. I dropped it or whatever, but I was basically driving my car, living my life for 2.5 weeks without this wallet, and I didn't get stopped one time. So if that isn't fortunate, I don't know what is. I'm not a man of faith, but that was divine intervention. And so, yeah, so that was after the third time. I don't have my wallet. And then the fourth time, again, it's a few days after the third time, she texts me. It was like a back and forth. Like she would text me, I would text her. She would text me, I would text her. She texted me and she was like, hey, yo, what are you doing? Let's kick it. And I was like, this time specifically, I was like, say less, because my entire family is gone out of town. My entire family's gone out of town. No one is in either house. The house I stay in with my mom, or across the street, my aunt and uncle. No one is here. They're gone out of town for a weekend trip. I forgot where they went. That's not relevant. But they're gone, right? And I said, say less. Besides my uncle, who's deceased, he was over here. But the across the street, my other aunt and uncle, who are married, they're gone and my mom's gone, right? And so I was like, say less. I know exactly where we can go. I bring her through. We had the entire big ass house across the street to ourselves. We went buck wild. It was crazy. It was wild. It was insane. Reflecting on that makes me realize how fucking stupid I was. Man, I'll tell you why in a few minutes. I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, after the third time where we did our thing, and I dropped her off, she ghosted me for a period of time. Before that, this isn't really relating to the relationship, but it's an integral part of the story that I've told people. After I dropped her off after the fourth time, I'm driving back home. Keep in mind, she lives like 30 to 35 minutes away from me, right? So I have to drive that distance every time to pick her up or drop and drop her off, right? So it's about an hour of travel. I drop her off. It's like 3 a.m., 3:30 a.m. I'm driving back on a big-ass highway. I'm drowsy. I'm very tired. I just expanded a lot of fucking energy. Maybe literally. I am tired. I'm exhausted. I'm very tired. I'm blaring music on my shitty-ass car speakers. I got the bass all the way turned up. I think I was like blasting, I don't know, 6ix9ine Gummo. Niggas iffy, Blakey got this dip. Like, I'm just trying to wake myself up. You know what I'm saying? And I have the windows down. I have the AC blasting. Nothing is working. Nothing works. I drift off to sleep on this big-ass highway, right? And it wasn't like an interstate highway. It was like a main highway, but it was like, you know, it wasn't interstate. It was just a highway, right? I drift off to sleep. I'm going about 35, 40. So I'm not going fast at all. I'm not going that fast. But I drift off. And fortunately enough, you know, I'm drifting off. And then I come back to consciousness with enough reaction time to realize, oh shit, I'm running off the road. However, even though I came back to consciousness, it was kind of too late, and I end up landing in a ditch, and my car hits a road sign as well. So now I'm in this fender bender at like 3:30 a.m. I'm freaking the fuck out. Obviously, I'm okay. Like I said, I wasn't going that fast to really cause that much damage to my car. Car or myself. Fortunately enough, right? But regardless, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking the fuck out. And I'm just like, oh my god. And keep in mind, this is like Saturday night, early Sunday morning at this point, right? So I'm still freaking out, and I'm just like, what the fuck am I going to do? I get out of my car. I climb out of the passenger seat. There's not a scratch on me. I'm just in shock and fear. And I'm just on the side of this highway trying to wave and flag cars down. Like, hey, is there anybody that can help me? Hey, hello. Fortunately, there's a big 18-wheeler that passes me, right? I'm like standing damn near in the middle of the road. She sees me. She slows down. Obviously, she's not going that fast to begin with. But she like pulls over. And I'm like, oh my god, thank you. I'm in a bit of a situation. Do you think you can help me out? Most 18-wheelers have a tow on them. So I'm thinking, oh, bet she's like gonna help, be able to help me out, and I'll be able to go home, right? Because the way I got into this fender bender, my car didn't sustain that much damage, and I was still able to operate it and drive home. That's important. That's important to know. But unfortunately, this 18-wheeler female driver, right? She's like, oh, damn, you got me on the one night that I don't have my hitch, my tow. And I'm just like, fuck. Damn it, fuck. What am I going to do? And so she was like, you're probably going to have to call Highway Patrol and probably the 24-hour tow because it's late, right? So I'm a teenager that's freaking out, and I'm just like, okay, fuck it. If that's what I have to do. I have to do that. I call Highway Patrol. They come within it was a while until they responded. Maybe a good 45 minutes. It took a minute. This state trooper pulls up. Bald ass head, fucking big ass state trooper's cap, the stereotypical state trooper get up. For my people that live in South Carolina, you know exactly what that looks like. I don't even have to describe it, but he was the stereotypical state trooper. White, obviously. And he's like, "Well, son, have you been drinking?" And I'm like, No, sir. No, sir. I've not. I'm bone sober. I was simply just drowsy, and I ran off the side of the road, and I'm freaking out." And he's like, "All right, license and registration." I give that to him. And he's like, "All right, I'll be back." He runs my shit. He runs my shit for like 10, 15 minutes. And I'm still nervous, and I'm still scared. And then he comes back. And he gives me 2 tickets. 2 tickets. 1 ticket for reckless driving. 1 ticket for destruction of government property. I guess reckless driving because I ran off the side of the road and landed in the ditch. And I guess destruction of government property because I had hit this road sign and fucked my car up. And so I get these tickets, and then he's like, "Well, you're going to have to get a tow to help you out with this situation. So let me call the 24-hour tow people to see if they can come help you out with that." And he does. The tow arrives in another like 30 minutes. So it's probably like 4:30, 5 a.m. at this point. The tow arrives. He helps me out. After he helps me out, he tells me the total of how much it cost. $400. It cost $400 fucking dollars for that fucker to pull my car out of a ditch. $400. And so he's like, "Okay, well, I'll take it." He's basically like handing his hand out saying, "Okay, pay me." Right? And then I'm still freaking out, from the shock of the incident. But then I remember, I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm about to graduate. And I have all this graduation money, and I know exactly where it is." And so the highway that I'm on that I got into this accident, I'm about 5 minutes away from home. It's crazy how, that statistic that's like a good amount of accidents happen in close proximity to home. That's literally what it was in my situation. I'm 5 minutes away from home, right? And so I tell the police officer and the towman, I'm like, "Hey, yo, I'm 5 minutes away from home. Y'all have my address. If you will please allow me 10 minutes to go to my house and come back with the cash, and I can meet y'all somewhere, I will give you the payment," right? And then the patrolman was like, "Okay, deal. But if you don't show up within 10 minutes, after 10 minutes, I'm going to come looking for you." So I'm like, "Yes, sir." And then I get in my car, and he's like, "Don't speed." And I was like, "Ha." And so I drive away. As soon as I get out of fucking eyesight, I gun it. I get home. I pull into the driveway. Luckily, not that many people are home besides my uncle, who's like old and he's fucking passed out across the street. But I pull into my aunt's house. I pull into the driveway, whatnot. I go to because she kept all of my aunt kept all of my graduation money in this envelope, in one of her dresser drawers. So I go to the drawer because I know what drawer it was in. I go to the dresser drawer. I get the envelope, and I bring the entire envelope with me. I drive back to the location that the cop told me to meet him and the towman at, because they told me to meet them at this gas station that was a little bit past the highway that we were on. They were like, "Meet us back at this gas station in 10 minutes. And I was like, "All right." So I show up with the cash. I pay the towman off. I go home with 2 brand new tickets. A day passes. I've tried to hide the tickets in my car. Well, first of all, I pay the tickets off online because I'm just like, "Hey, yo, I don't want them to find out about this. I'm just going to pay them. And I just have this mark on my record now, I guess. But I'm just going to pay them. I'm just going to pay the tickets. I paid the tickets. And then I tried to hide them in my car. Like in my glove department. I don't know where I tried to hide them. I forgot. But like somewhere as to that they couldn't find them. That no one could find them. Let's just say that plan didn't work. Because about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks after I come home from school, my aunt is pissed. She's furious. Because one day, obviously, I got into this accident, and, like, my car's not fucked up, but because I went into a ditch and shit, there's a bunch of grass and, like, mud on, like, under the front bumper of my car. She sees that. She's very curious about that. She gets the spare key. She goes inside of the car. She finds the tickets. I come home from school one day. She's pissed. She's fucking pissed. She's holding the 2 tickets, and she lays into me. She's like, what the fuck are these? What the fuck did you do? I explained the situation to her. She's like, get in the fucking car. We're going to municipal court to get this off your record because this is not going to stay on your record. She was heated. Me, her, and my mom all get in this car. We drive to the county office to pay it off, to try to pay it off. We're about at the 56-minute mark. I'm sorry that the story has taken this long, but I feel like it's an integral part of this relationship story. Maybe as a side plot, I just felt like it needs to be told. But anyway, we go to this municipal court, this county court, to try to pay the or like get the money back that I had paid for the ticket. Try to get it expunged from my record. But the day that we went up there, it wasn't the court date. The court date was like another month and a half away, so we had to wait until then. We wait until then. I'm grounded, by the way. The only thing I can do within this like month and a half is go home, go to school and go home, go to church and go home. I'm like in a fuck ton of trouble. I'm grounded. She barely let me drive the car. So the court date arrives. I'm like in a suit. We go to court. We meet the county judge or whatever. And then we spend like an hour waiting for the arresting officer, the highway patrolman that gave me the tickets, to show up. He doesn't show up. We're waiting an hour and a half, and then the judge comes out and he's like, apparently the highway patrolman had something else to do. He didn't show up. Therefore, what I'm going to do for you, Mr. Perry, is I'm going to expunge. If you don't know what expunge means, it basically means erase something off like, I guess, criminal record. And traffic violations aren't considered a criminal record, but regardless, he was basically saying that he was going to expunge the tickets off of my record, and then also going to give you a check back in the amount of what you paid for the 2 tickets. And this amount was like, in total, maybe $350. I still lost $400 because of the tow, but I got the $300 or $350 that I paid for the 2 tickets. I got that back in full. He sent that check to me. I deposited that check into my account. So yeah, got that expunged from my record. I guess the moral of that side plot is if you get involved into any kind of legal trouble as a adolescent, as a minor, let your family know, let your parents know, because they can handle it way better than you can. Don't try to handle it yourself. My stupid ass paid the tickets, and I reported it to my insurance because I'm about to go in the military. I didn't, want to fuck that up in my mind, so I reported that, A, to the academy admissions, and B, to my insurance, in an effort to try to save my premium from going up. It didn't. Plot twist, it didn't. Regardless, that's the side plot. Fuck, we're at an hour already. I'm so sorry. I was trying to keep this short, but I felt as if I needed to tell that part of the relationship story with this chick. She has a nickname of. Actually, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not done with that story. So back to the main plot of the third relationship that I was in high school that happened senior year. So after all this shit went down, or actually, after the fourth and final time of us hanging out, I brought her over to my aunt and uncle's house. We had the entire house to ourselves. We went wild. And then, I waited a few days, and I didn't hear anything from her. So I texted her, what's up? I didn't hear anything. I waited a few more days, texted her, what's up? This went on for 2 or 3 more times, and then she ghosted me for a period of 2 weeks, right? And then after 2 weeks, I started to get concerned, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? What am I going to do, right? And so after 2 weeks of not hearing from her, I'm a little bit of worry sets in. I'm just like, why is she avoiding me, not responding to me? So what I do is, if you don't, I use Text Now. Basically, Text Now is an app that you can use to get fake phone numbers, and you can use it for spam purposes or whatever. So I get a fake number from the Text Now app, and I have her number and all of her info, right? I text her pretending to be one of my friends, and excuse me, the text that I send, I'm like, hey, Daniel's really worried about you. You haven't been responding to his text and whatnot. He wants to know if you're okay. You should probably reach out to him, right? After 30 minutes after I sent that text pretending to be my friend, she texts my number, and she says, look, I'm sorry that I've been avoiding you, but I don't know how to tell you this, so I'm just going to say it. I'm pregnant. She tells me that, and I'm like, huh? That was my initial reaction. Huh? She's like, I'm pregnant. And then it hit me like a tidal wave. And I didn't want to elicit the, I call it stereotypical reaction of, well, it ain't mine. I'm not going to take care of it. Because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in being a piece of shit. After she told me that, I had a bit of a panic attack. I freaked the fuck out. Literally. I didn't go to the hospital or anything like that because my mom figured out that I was figuring out. She was able to calm me down. She was like, what's going on? And then I can't hide. I'm not going to hide a potential pregnancy from my family, so I tell her. And basically what happened after I told her was her, my aunt, my sister, my cousins, my entire family did reconnaissance on her, on the girl that I was with. Because I told her that, and she was like, okay, calm down, She didn't say it's not your fault. She's like, we're going to take care of this. We're going to resolve this. So you don't have anything to worry about. After she said that, basically what happened is that my family ran reconnaissance, found intel about the girl that I was with, basically stalked her social medias, to find out that she was involved with 8 other dudes before me. She was basically in 8 other relationships before me. So I think a total of 9, either 7 or 8 relationships. And I was either the 8th or 9th one of those. And she would update her statuses on Facebook often to reflect, I'm in a relationship with this person. I'm in a relationship with this person. I'm in a relationship with this person. This happened 7 or 8 times in the span of a year. 1 year, 12 months this happened. So after the girl told me that she was pregnant, and my initial reaction was, I took a few days after she broke the news to me, and I went up to her, or I contacted her, and I was like, hey, yo, I know you must be stressed out. I just want you to know that regardless of what happens, whatever you decide to do, I'm going to be here to support you. In whatever route you choose, know that you have my support. Because I wanted to say that regardless, because I didn't want to be a dick and be like, well, I'm going to dip and I'm just going to be a deadbeat dad. Fuck you. I didn't want to do that, because my philosophy on fatherhood was at the time and still is to be a way better father to my child than my father ever was to me, because my father wasn't present in my life. So my goal for fatherhood is to be a way better father to my child than my father was to me. That's why I told her, hey, whatever you decide to do, know that I'm going to support you regardless, right? That was my initial reaction. After my family did reconnaissance and found out the shit about her that they found out, I hit her up furious. I was pissed, and I was like, you fucking bitch, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why the fuck didn't you tell me that you were fucking all these other dudes? Yada, yada, yada. And she didn't give me a straight answer. She was just like, oh, I don't know. I didn't know how you'd react. So basically, to try to sum it up, the probability of that child being mine was either 1 out of 8 or 1 out of 9, realistically. However, 2 weeks after, I guess my family did the background check on her, she texts me and she tells me that she had an abortion, and that she got rid of it. Therefore, it's not a worry of mine anymore after that point. And then I was like, thank you for telling me that. And then I just block her and eradicate her from my life, because I didn't want that I didn't need or want that toxicity in my life anymore. I was like, fuck this. I am done. So yeah. So I guess the moral of that story, there's a few morals. The first moral of that story is to be smart about doing stupid shit. And that's a phrase that I love, and that I've adapted from other people, I guess, or adopted, that I've adopted from other people. Be smart about doing dumb shit. If you're gonna be sexually active, use protection. I didn't in this situation. As a senior in high school, as a dumb fucking teenager, I did not. As a 17-year-old, I didn't. I raw dogged it. And the friends that know about this story already know that. Have I learned since then? Fuck yeah, I have. You best believe I have. And luckily, from that situation, it didn't yield pregnancy or diseases or anything like that. So I'm fortunate. I'm grateful for that. But that's the first moral. Use protection. Be smart about doing dumb shit. Second of all, I guess the second moral to that story would be to love yourself before you can love anybody else. Because even though we were messing around and fooling around in our relationship, I thought everything was cool, and we hung out and gotten food and did shit outside of that, outside of us just fooling around. But I thought that she was down for me, and after she showed her true colors and I really found out about her, I realized that that wasn't the case, and that relationship specifically was a strain on me mentally and emotionally. It depleted me. I didn't know how to move on for a long time after that. I was very apprehensive for a good year and a half, to get into any kind of romantic involvement because of that. Because emotionally, that experience scarred me, and the amount of trust that I had for people in general was diminished, and it was almost eradicated. I had very little trust in people after that. So I guess what you should take away from that story is that you should love people. You should love yourself way before you can love other people. And also you should make sure that the person that you're getting involved with emotionally and romantically loves you genuinely, just like you love yourself. Because if that isn't the case, then there's no point in being involved with a person like that. It's only gonna hurt you. It's only gonna break you down and destroy you. So learn to recognize that. I would say would be my biggest piece of advice for that. And so outside of that experience, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I've had like flings, and like I'm not like, after that experience, I haven't been that big of a sexual person. But I have had other sexual experiences outside of that, and other romantic experiences outside of that, but nothing that amassed to a relationship. Is more just like as an involvement with somebody. And like the point that I'm at right now in my life, eventually, maybe not right now with like what I'm doing in my life, but eventually I want to be in a relationship with somebody that loves me just like I love myself, and that I can really vibe with, and that we have nothing but mutual respect and admiration for each other. That's really all I want, in terms of what I want a relationship to look like. So I'm going to stay optimistic to believe that'll happen. And, when the opportunity presents itself, we'll act accordingly. So, yeah. That's the end of this episode. We're at the hour and 13-minute mark, 14-minute, almost 15-minute mark. I fucked up the time limit on this entirely. This is probably going to be longer than the first episode. But I promise the next episode that I drop will be shorter, maybe half the size of this episode right here. Yeah, I just yeah. Oh, I did say I was bisexual, right? Yeah. So one of the involvements that I had about a year and a half so ago was with a guy. And again, I'm not going to reveal his identity because we're still friends to this day, very close friends. I have nothing but respect for this person and nothing but love and admiration for this person. But simply on a platonic level, we've discussed that it wouldn't work out in a romantic sense. At least not at this point. Maybe that'll change years down the road. But yeah, I have nothing but respect and love for this person on a platonic level. We're best friends. But initially I was involved with him like a year and a half so ago. We met up. We met through social media. I'm not gonna reveal the app that I met him through, because I feel as if that might be revealing his identity. He's not famous per se, but he's well known. He's known to an extent on another app. But I'm not gonna reveal his identity or whatever. So either way, I got his info. I DM'd him, whatever. We talked for a few months, and then we agreed to meet up and hang out. And like, I traveled to where he was, he traveled to where I was at. We hung out, and we just had a genuine pleasant time and enjoyed each other's company. And then probably after the second time we hung out, I made an advance as to like signify, hey, I think you're fucking dope. I want to be something more with you. You know what I'm saying? And he, I guess maybe I didn't make my advances clear enough or whatever. But he wasn't with it. And, at that time he wasn't cool with it, but we still hung out. We still maintained contact. And, I tried to make another advance a few months ago. And, he explained the fact that, where we're at currently, the place that we're at in both of our lives currently, a relationship is not feasible. And I didn't want to accept it at the time, but now, months later, weeks and months later, I've come to acceptance with that, and I'm just trying to live my life the best I can. Like I said, I don't want to reveal his identity because we're still best friends. I'm sure he might be listening to this right now. What's up, fucker? You're dope. You're awesome. You're an awesome human being. I just gotta let the people know about what this is, because this episode is about romanticism and relationships and whatnot. So, had to let them know about you. Hope we're okay still. You're awesome. Probably, if you have any questions about any of the things I talked about regarding you, DM me, let me know. Don't want to cause a situation, but regardless, the point where I'm at in my life is, like I said previously, I want a relationship with somebody, but I need to meet the right person that loves me just like I love myself, and that has the same level of love, respect, and admiration for them as they have for me. So yeah, hope that clears that up. I don't know, like I said before at the beginning of this podcast, I don't know when this is going to drop. It's early Tuesday. It's about like 1:15 a.m. right now at this current point in time. I might drop this episode on Friday, on the 10th, maybe. Yeah. So I'll make an announcement about it. But I'm just gonna plug something real quick. If you go to linktr.ee/Perry Jones, JHONZ, that's linktr.ee/Perry Jones, JHONZ, you will find the links to everything regarding me, regarding music, all the albums that I've put out, the links for all of the albums and the singles that I've put out will be on that website, along with episodes for this podcast. So if you missed the last episode, you want to catch up with that, go to linktr.ee/Perry Jones, PerryJones. You can find these links and you can connect with me as an artist and connect with me as a person. So yeah, wanted to plug that, but it's way past time that I end this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. In terms of the direction for this podcast, there is no set schedule. I don't have a set schedule for this podcast because the way my life is, I can't really dedicate a set schedule to it. However, I'm going to drop this episode in a few days, and maybe next week or the week after another episode will be released. I have to work it out in my schedule and see what I can do for it. But again, thank you all for tuning in to the Exiled Serious Inquiry podcast, and I'll catch y'all next time.